So welcome back if you're coming back, and welcome if it's your first time, and we're sharing guidance and everything to do with life. So welcome, and you are appreciated. Thank you for passing by. So let's jump into the next message and let's see what we have. So for how long are we going to walk about always wanting to have control over everything and everyone? And it is all because we want to just feel safe in our little bubbles and think that everything is just circulating around us and we are the center that pulls everything to us. Partly that is true, but unfortunately, it only leads us to end up being selfish when it comes to dealing with others. Selfish in the sense that we end up walking around like 5-year-olds trapped in a huge adult body that does not feel safe no matter what they do. And the selfishness increases and increases that it becomes so overwhelming. We are not able to catch up, and then some other force now takes over us and becomes our master, and we end up being the puppet we had so long tried to avoid, and this sometimes ends up being too late. What we need to understand is that the only person we could control is only ourselves. Only ourselves. We cannot control what another wants or thinks. For a short period, that could be influenced by manipulation, but that is all that it is. Because there's some people, they are using spells, magic, and projections in order to try and manipulate other people to think otherwise of what the truth that they know. This can be a short victory because the other is bound to wake up soon and maybe, just maybe, either do the same to you, they might manipulate you in the same way, or just alienate themselves away from you for good. So I suppose here we are talking about somebody who is trying to manipulate another one into thinking differently. And then you will be left alone, just what you had been running from. You cannot control some things either, especially if they were not meant for you. If it does not belong to you, it does not belong to you, period. And do whatever you want and you still can't get it, neither have control over it. While we are talking about all the games still being played around by those who would not stop fooling around with you. Especially if you're awakened, that is going to be a tough game for them. This is a tough game for for those who are dealing with awakened people. It is like playing a chess game for hours and hours, one thinking they are very intelligent and they can win, while the other, who is awakened, already sees the next move of your opponent. And your opponent really believes that they can beat you, but because they think they are the ones who designed the game and that they are the only ones who can manipulate what and where it is meant to be. However, all the strategy they think they have, they are forgetting that the best plan of all is God the Most High. He gave them those wits and courage. He created them. He gave them what they have, and so did He give that to you too. It's an equal situation. Here is where duality would really play. When they go to A, you go to B, and give them a counter answer to what they ask for. Isn't that so amazing? That is what is called equality. That is what is called justice. And that is a fair game. Unfortunately, too, is that a lot of effort and time is also being wasted. I mean, both opponents want the same thing. And the goal is the same. Human beings are either looking to have pleasure or to stay away from pressure. And that is all the struggle that happens to be in life. Whatever we do is always in search of that which will give happiness or avoid that which is painful. And that determines what we do. Unfortunately, instead of focusing more to get that happiness so that we could automatically avoid pain, some of us choose to focus more on avoiding pain than focusing on the happiness. And they end up missing out on the happiness that is right in front of their eyes. Something they have been longing for a long time, and yet because they are still in the fight or flight mode, they blind themselves to the blessings that they have. And that is where the lack mindset comes in, and they start to believe that they don't have the peace that they have and that they have to fight for it, yet it had always been there. It is like you have your pie right in front of you, served, and yet you still call out, I want my pie, where is my pie? And that is exhausting. Stay still and look around for a moment and reflect on what you are seeing. Can't you see that you already have that which you are looking for? And that applies to all of us, even the ones who don't manipulate others. We believe we need to fight back with every other attack to get what we want. However, if we stay still as well, it just appears right in front of us. Nothing is impossible as long as you have faith that you have it. Sort of like parables again, I think this message is. But that is what is happening around. Because it's like we are all running around a treadmill wanting water, and yet water is right there for us to have. You already have it. We already have it. Games are good to keep occupied sometimes, but sometimes it is not necessary. Let us stop playing games with each other. We are all searching for the same things, and we are all getting them as long as we have the faith. May we all be enlightened in the way of God the Most High in the best way as possible, and may we choose to do the right thing wherever we are. Amen. And I hope that helps. And with that said, see you in the next one. Take care, and with much love, God bless.